I wanted to bring up this story that was actually brought up to my attention, chap. We have a story here about Aquaman. Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom, to be more specific, chat. And apparently it's having a lot of issues right now. Now, I'll go ahead and I'll stay at the top. I was not the biggest fan of the first Aquaman movie. Even though, one could say it's the most successful DCEU movie. Certainly commercially it's the most successful, box office wise. It's the only film within the series of films that has grossed over $1 billion. And I know a lot of people like the original Aquaman. I just wasn't a big fan. Well, apparently, Chad, Aquaman 2 is having a lot of troubles right now. Reshoots, filming new cameos, taking out cameos they already filmed, and just doing non-stop test screenings. This was brought to my attention by Chris Ayres, so thank you, Chris Ayres. This is from The Hollywood Reporter. And apparently I'm going to read this, and we'll kind of have a nice discussion about it. The sequel to Warner Brothers' 2018 DC movie is coming off a round of reshoots that occurred in New Zealand in mid-June. It involves stars including Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. Plays Ocean Master. That's how he says his name. Also known as Orm. According to multiple sources, this is the third round of reshoots for the movie, directed by James Wan. That is almost an unprecedented number, even for a movie of this scale. Lost Kingdom has faced several headwinds as it swims. God damn it with the water puns. It's like this writer. I don't mean to stop and go off on a tangent, but I just really hate it when you have these writers that come in. It's like, how many ocean and water and just like boat puns can I make? And with this author, I skipped the whole. I'll tell you right now, I skipped the beginning of this article because the first paragraph was just ocean puns, and I'm not about that. But he snuck some past me. Anyway, Lost Kingdom has faced several headwinds as it swims toward a December 20th release date. It was postponed several times. Originally, it was due to bow in December 2022, last year. And like its DC movie brother, The Flash, its making has now spanned 3 regimes at Warner Brothers. The movie was greenlit under the Warner's regime, led by former film boss Toby Emmerich and his Lieutenant DC film head, Walter Hamada. It's a sequel to Aquaman, which proved to be a surprise hit and stands the highest-grossing DC movie of all time with $1.148 billion. Did very well, Jeff. Principal photography wrapped in January 2022, but by summer, Emmerich was out. Hamada soon followed. Both casualties of the merger that created Warner Bros. Discovery. Still don't like that name. Movie was in the middle of post-production, beginning test screenings that summer, while timeline is not clear. From summer 2022 to the beginning of 2023, The Lost Kingdom underwent 2 rounds of reshoots and held several uninspiring and even despised test screenings. After one round of screenings, new Warner film bosses Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy got involved as their running point on DC until Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav could find a permanent DC boss to replace Hamada. And as we know, that was James Gunn and Peter Safran. Different versions of executives notwithstanding, it isn't clear what the problems were, but one insider said the issue of story clarity has been an ongoing concern. Oh, that's great. Also a concern, Batman. Oh, no. Hamada wanted Michael Keaton's version of the character to be akin to Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. I remember this in the Marvel movies. Yeah. An elder statesman who would pop up in various films, including the now shelved Batgirl, as well as The Lost Kingdom. But shifting release dates muddled things. At one point, The Lost Kingdom was set to open March 2023, several months before Keaton's return, June 2023's The Flash. So in late July 2022, 2 months after Abdy and DeLuca took over Warner's, Ben Affleck joined a round of reshoots as Bruce Wayne. And according to multiple sources, Chad, everyone's saying it was pretty chaotic. More test screens of cuts occurred in February and again in April. But this time, staff producer on the first Aquaman as well as Lost Kingdom had become co-head, newly created DC Studios along with Gunn. And Chad, seems to be just a mess. And now the reshoots have reportedly only raised the overall budget, which initially was greenlit for $205 million before they did the original 2 reshoots. So this film looks like it's going to be just a huge, big budgeted film, overly budgeted film. That's been one of the criticisms that we talk about, Chad. Like this year, we've had so many big budget movies from The Flash, Indiana Jones. I mean, you pick, Chad, that have just flopped, that just have these overinflated budgets, like these overproduced movies. And with the recent lackluster success. I mean, downright failure of the DCU's multiple new movies, from Black Adam to Shazam to most recently with the Flash. Yeah, was looking to be another failure. To be honest, like I said, like I was not a big fan of the first movie. I like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I actually like him. I joke and say he's my man and woo and all that. I actually really like him as Arthur Curry. He's the best thing about the original movie. Like, my problem with the original movie was just that it was too overstuffed. It was like James Wan said, I don't know if I'm ever going to make another Aquaman movie, so I'm going to make 4 in 1, which was weird to me. He included so many different storylines. It's like, can we just focus on, like, one thing and not just do, like, a Cliff Notes version of all these other Aquaman stories? But we got the Cliff Notes version, and I just didn't want to waste all that material because I feel like we can expand on it. We can save that for sequels. I mean, sequels that at this point are just not going to happen. Although we are getting this one, but yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised to hear this. I mean, the state of the DCU has been in shambles for over a decade now. I mean, actually, it has been a decade. So yeah, I guess it has been a decade. Chad. It's been it's a shambling decade. As we are about to transition over to James Gunn and Peter Safran's new DC universe, the new, as they're calling it, just the DCU, very simple. Dropping that E, chat. Dropping that extended, expanded, extension, whatever. Dropping the E. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad and disappointing that, hey, you could have went out on a high note, and maybe they will with this movie. I'm not expecting them to do so, but hey, I'll be happily proven wrong. Believe me, I have no issue with that whatsoever. If you make a good movie, I like it. I'll happily sing his praise. Not going to go in there just to hate something, right? But do have my expectations lowered with this film, chat, and just this constant, consistent bad news that seems to be plaguing a lot of these DC films. Aside from Blue Beetle, it looks like that production was good and stable, which is nice, change of pace for them. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just like another Flash that they have on their hands, chat. The greatest superhero film of all time, as it was said by multiple people that saw it, apparently. Before everyone else did. And I was like, wait a minute, it's not that at all. So we'll see, chap, but not surprised to hear these things. I wouldn't mind if hey, one day we get another Aquaman movie with a different actor. I think that's what's going to happen. I think Jason Momoa is probably going to be Lobo, which I think maybe he'll be better suited for, honestly. I'm actually excited to see something like that. But yeah, I don't want them to stop making Aquaman movies. I want them to use this character later on, just a different version of the character. Just get rid of all this. Just move past all this, chat. Just get rid of it. Throw it in the trash where it honestly probably should have belonged for a long time. And let's just get to this new era. That's what I'm excited about, chat. But what about you guys? How do you feel about this Aquaman news? Is it disconcerting? Are you disappointed? Are you not surprised? Like me? But despite that, are you hopeful? You want to see a good movie? I want to see a good movie. Let me know. What about you, chat? What do you think of this? Oh, thank you for the biddies. Deadpool, thank you so much for the 200 biddies. Aquaman 2 is a lesson in the sunken cost fallacy. Right? Very good. And look, I like the water puns you got in there, too. You should work for the Hollywood Reporter. They'd love you. Mr. Yasmin, I am talking about Aquaman 2. Indeed. It was brought to my attention by Chris Ayers. The Underwater War, Black Manta, Cthulhu Monsters, Desert Temple, Romance in Italy, Trident Fight. No intrigue. It was too much. It was too much. Too much going on. That was the problem. Way too much going on. Let's see here. I'm going to be impressed with this movie's not good. I'm over the DC movies. I would rather they concentrate on a TV series. The stuff they showed in that feature type a couple of years back looks so cool. Which one? For this movie? I didn't mean to make a pun, but now I'm ashamed. No, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Hollywood Reporter wants you. Yeah, chap. Yeah. But yeah. But I think at the end of the day, people just seemingly they don't care. They're just like, okay, whatever. Let's just move past this. Let's just move on. Again, when it comes down to it, I have no dog in the game at all for this. I'm not a big James Wan fan to begin with. I never really. There are exceptions. There's some of it. I think Furious 7 is probably his best movie. I find that's probably the best Fast Furious film. It's where the series probably should have ended all those years ago. I think I like him as an action director more than a horror filmmaker. But I've never been into his horror films, aside from the first Conjuring I like, and the first Saw is but so many of those other ones, I'm just I don't really care for any of these. So, You know, I would like to see a different filmmaker's interpretation of Aquaman and Aquaman supporting characters and tertiary characters and world, to be quite honest. And so maybe we'll get that, one day. Probably not for a long time, but if we can move on from this, all the better. But hey, despite my apathy towards James Wan as a filmmaker, I hope that, despite all this trouble behind the scenes, that he does deliver a good movie. That's what we all want to see, Chad, at the end of the day. We want to see a good movie. I want to see a good Aquaman movie. And I like Jason Momoa. He's a good actor. He's a fun actor, and I actually like him as the character. So we'll see. But my expectations are not high. They are not high. Too tall, good to have you here, by the way. Aquaman deserves a different take on the character. Make him like the DC animated version. Like, I would love that personally. Like that kind of bombastic, like, ha-ha, like that. That'd be kind of cool. Like from Brave and the Bold. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I always like that interpretation of Aquaman. They can probably go one of two ways. It's either that version of that character, that bombastic, like, hello, chums, hello, friends. Like, he's just really nice and kind. Or they can make him where he's kind of an asshole, which is what, like, the DCAU certainly did. Which, that it's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind they based him off of Namor from Marvel. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't necessarily want that. Marvel's got that thing of Namor. Let's get, like, I'm just happy to be here, Aquaman. That sounds good to me. And he's got to take care of his brother. He's got to make sure to run his kingdom effectively, chat. So, I don't know. We'll see. Hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. Oh, man. You could say that Aquaman might have floundered before it arrived. I love it. I loved it. Chat, so good. Yeah, well, looks like Aquaman flopped like a fish. Yeah, chat, we should all work for the Hollywood Reporter. Oh, my God. Hell yeah. They can fire these writers. It's me and you guys, and we got it, chat. We can write all these articles. It'll be perfect. I hope everyone enjoyed the video, and I want to take the time to tell you about my Patreon, Class in the Glass, which offers hundreds of film commentaries and video reactions to numerous movies, TV shows, and cartoons. If you're a fan of shows like Batman the Animated Series and Avatar: The Last Airbender, or films like Aliens and Raiders of the Lost Ark, my Patreon is the platform for you. Currently, I'm doing a subathon to reach 75 subs on the platform. If we hit 75 subs, we'll be able to start voting on the next edited YouTube reaction, which will include actual clips and scenes from the movies and shows I comment over. Choose from such films as Fire and Ice, Masters of the Universe, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or Spawn. Subscribing at any tier level is appreciated, and feel free to give feedback at any time. Thank you again for watching the video, and see you next time.